If you have two equations, you have two variables. If you have three equations, three variables. However many variables you've got, that's how many equations you've got. If you're going to be able to solve the system, that's what you need. Because of my prior career, as a meteorologist and studying this stuff, when you model the atmosphere, these are all the variables that you need, right? You need the wind. The wind is one aspect of the weather. The wind is actually three components. There's three variables. There's the east-west, there's the north-south, and there's the up and down. Three components of wind, so it's actually three variables. There's temperature, right? Temp. There's pressure, atmospheric pressure, high pressure, low pressure, that kind of thing. There's humidity. And then there's one more, which is there's got to be something that describes how you take humidity out of the atmosphere. I mean, what happens when it rains? That affects the humidity. So that one would be called condensation. So how many variables do we have? It's actually seven. Seven, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many equations do we need? Seven. 7 variables, 7 equations. Now, when it comes to these equations are actually partial differential equations that all change with time. So, in fact, we're not going to just get one solution here. What we're going to get is a solution that changes with time, and we'll let our computers go forward, and then we'll take a snapshot of that, and that becomes the forecast that you see, wherever you see the forecast, like when I put it up on the screen, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from a model of these 7 equations, which are called the primitive equations, okay? The primitive equations, 7 variables, 7 equations. And we will see that when we get to things like this, which is actually towards the end of trigonometry. But when you read a problem and they ask you for 2 different quantities, that means there's 2 unknowns, which means 2 variables. 2 equations. So like in this problem, it's two wires that are holding up a weight. And they ask for the tension in each one of these wires. Well, as soon as they ask the question, okay, that's 2 things you don't know, that means you got to have 2 equations. It should make you think of systems, right? Same thing down here. They're asking like, what's the tension in this and that? That's 2 things you don't know. It's supposed to make you think, okay, I'm supposed to set up a system, find 2 equations.